thousands of flights canceled or delayed coast to coast. It comes after 8 reported tornadoes, and Ginger Z is now tracking the major new storm tonight. Also developing the new details now revealed tonight involving billionaire Patriots owner Robert Kraft and those charges. Kraft with his star Tom Brady today and what we've learned tonight. President Trump in the air at this hour predicting a, quote, very tremendous summit with Kim Jong-un, the North Korean dictator traveling in his armored train. We're on the scene tonight of that mysterious deadly crash, the cargo plane flying for Amazon, the sudden nosedive crashing off Houston. Our cameras with investigators tonight. The other deadly plane crash, this time into a home, pinning a teenage girl against the wall. You will hear the call to 911. Singer R. Kelly pleading not guilty to sex abuse charges involving 4 young women, 3 of them underage. The singer set to be released tonight. The fires set burning food in aid for the Venezuelan people. And our exclusive interview just moments ago with the defiant Venezuelan leader, Nicolas Maduro. His message tonight for the Trump White House. The high school cheerleader, just 13, in the medical emergency that turned deadly right before she was supposed to perform. And the moment you didn't see with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, what happened when they went to commercial break.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Seoul, South Korea.
And good evening tonight from Seoul. The president is on his way to Hanoi at this hour, and so are we at the end of this newscast. And we'll have more on the high stakes involved in this summit in just a moment here. But we're going to begin tonight with several developing headlines back home. The damaging and dangerous winds downing trees, power lines, more than 500,000 in the dark tonight on a very cold night in much of the U.S. In Bradner, Ohio, the winds were powerful enough to knock this semi on its side and ripping this giant tree from the ground in western Pennsylvania. It comes after 8 reported tornadoes across the South this weekend, much of the East tonight reeling from damaging winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour. And tonight we are tracking yet another major storm set to sweep across the country. Thousands of flights and delays, and ABC's Gio Benitez is at New York's LaGuardia Airport tonight.
Tonight, powerful winds lashing the Northeast, gusting up to 65 miles per hour. More than 500,000 losing power, thousands of flights delayed. Outside Philadelphia, a tree crashing into this home.
Me and my wife are okay. I count myself very lucky tonight.
The same system blamed for this deadly pileup on Interstate 41 in Wisconsin Sunday. More than 70 injured, 1 person did not survive.
There's a tornado right here in front of us.
That massive storm also spawning 8 reported tornadoes Saturday, including an EF3 twister in Mississippi that killed 1 and injured 11. Our Marcus Moore is there.
And this is what is left of a church sanctuary here in Columbus, Mississippi, where winds nearly 140 miles an hour knocked down the walls and tore the roof off.
And outside Nashville, this massive landslide shutting down part of Interstate 24. And David, here at LaGuardia Airport, a high wind advisory has been in place for much of the day. Some passengers saw some very long delays, as long as 6 hours. David?
Rough going tonight, Gio Benitez. Our thanks to you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z tracking it all for us. Ginger?
David, it is still really windy out here. We're in a wind advisory until 9 p.m. for much of the Northeast, and you can see the peak gust today made it to 60 at Albany, 54 for Philadelphia. Then it'll weaken. By tonight and the overnight, it gets better. So we turn our attention to the West Coast, that new atmospheric river that has its eyes set on the San Francisco Bay Area. You could end up with 6 or even 12 inches of rain in some of the peak places, so we're concerned about some of the burn scars there. Go to the Sierra, add some elevation. You're talking about more than 6 feet of snow. David?
Ginger Z with us tonight as well. Ginger, thank you. We are learning new details this Monday night in the case involving Patriots owner Robert Kraft. What investigators have now revealed tonight as Robert Kraft returned to Boston with his star quarterback Tom Brady there. ABC's Victor Akendo on what they now say they have on video.
Tonight, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft formally charged with 2 counts of soliciting prostitution.
This charge is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by up to 1 year in jail, a mandatory $5,000 fine.
Florida prosecutors say the billionaire visited the Orchids of Asia day spa in Jupiter, Florida twice, once on January 19th and again less than 24 hours later on the morning of the 20th, the same day the Patriots beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Investigators say the 77-year-old was videotaped inside by hidden cameras, paying for multiple sex acts from various women. Kraft's spokesperson maintains, "We categorically deny that Mr. Kraft engaged in any illegal activity." Kraft was spotted over the weekend leaving a pre-Oscars party in California.
Mr. Kraft, do you have a message to your fans?
And just today, Kraft seen here arriving by private plane back in Boston with Patriots star quarterback Tom Brady, the two hugging after deboarding. David, a court date has been set for late April, but Robert Kraft is not expected to appear. He could also face disciplinary action from the NFL. David?
Victor Akendo tonight. Victor, thank you. As I mentioned at the top tonight, President Trump is in the air at this hour on his way to Hanoi, where he will meet for the second time with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. The president predicting a, quote, very tremendous summit. After the first summit, you'll remember he declared there is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea. Well, his Secretary of State over the weekend now contradicting that. Kim Jong-un seen boarding his armored train in Pyongyang, traveling through China on his way to Vietnam. But back in the U.S., much of this will be on a split screen of sorts, as the president's longtime fixer and personal attorney Michael Cohen answers questions in front of the American people as this summit plays out as well. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl from Hanoi tonight.
President Trump took off for Hanoi today, eager to leave his political problems behind and hungry for a win on the world stage.
I think we'll have a very tremendous summit. We want denuclearization.
The president believes he can succeed where his predecessors failed, but he faces skeptics, some in his own administration, who say Kim Jong-un has no intention of giving up his nuclear weapons.
Nice to meet you, Mr. President.
After their historic summit in Singapore, President Trump declared there is no longer a nuclear threat from North Korea. Just this weekend, his own Secretary of State said the opposite.
We're very hopeful we can get a good outcome.
Do you think North Korea remains a nuclear threat?
Yes.
There's evidence North Korea has continued to make fuel for its bombs, and now the president is lowering expectations.
I'm not in a rush. I don't want to rush anybody. I just don't want testing. As long as there's no testing, we're happy.
North Korea has conducted no nuclear tests or major missile tests since the Singapore summit, something President Trump attributes to the relationship he has forged with Kim Jong-un.
I have a very, very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. Very, very good. And we go back and forth, and then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters.
The North Korean dictator is looking for a win, too, eager to free his country from crippling economic sanctions. He set off on a 2-day journey to Vietnam with great fanfare on an armored train. North Korea's state-owned aircraft are believed to be too old and battered to make the journey. For the last summit, Kim borrowed an airplane from China. This time, he chose to make the nearly 3,000-mile journey by land.
John Karl with us live tonight from Hanoi. And John, with the president in the air, he knows, and so does this White House tonight, that many will be watching this summit play out as they watch Michael Cohen testify before Congress.
In fact, David, Michael Cohen was on Capitol Hill today preparing for that testimony. He's going to be asked about those hush money payments during the campaign, about Trump Tower Moscow, and many other things. And of course, Cohen already faces jail time for lying to Congress, but now he says he is ready to tell the truth. As he tweeted last week, looking forward to the American people hearing my story in my voice, #truth. It will be quite the split screen moment, David.
It will for sure. John Karl and Martha Raddatz will be with us here for the summit all week long. John, thank you. Meantime, to the other news and back to Chicago tonight, where singer R. Kelly has made bail and he's now left jail after turning himself in and spending the weekend behind bars. Kelly appeared before a judge today on charges involving 4 women, 3 of them underage, and what his lawyers said. ABC's Lindsay Davis tonight from Chicago.
Tonight, embattled singer R. Kelly walking out of a Chicago jail after posting $100,000 bond late today. The 52-year-old entering a plea of not guilty to 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Prosecutors say they have both video and DNA evidence linking him to the abuse of 4 alleged victims, 3 of whom were between the ages of 13 and 17 at the time. Today, Michael Avenatti, who says he represents several clients associated with Kelly, says he's given prosecutors the second tape in 2 weeks that he claims shows R. Kelly having sex with a 14-year-old.
It leaves no question as to Mr. Mr. Kelly's guilt.
R. Kelly's attorney says as far as he knows, all of the alleged victims are lying.
I have no reason to believe that there is any tape of Mr. Kelly acting inappropriately in relation to these cases or that he's done anything else wrong.
But Kelly's brother, who's been estranged from the singer for years, says he believes the allegations against him.
Robert is like the devil. He's sick, almost like a person that's on drugs or a person that has an addiction.
So Kelly is out of jail for now, but according to court documents, if he doesn't make a payment of $161,000 in back child support by March 6th, he could be heading back to jail. David.
Lindsay Davis live in Chicago tonight for us. Lindsay, thank you. And tonight we're getting our first look at a key piece of evidence in the case against actor Jussie Smollett. ABC News obtaining a copy of a $3,500 check appeared to be written by Smollett and made out to one of those two brothers. Police say he paid to stage that racist and homophobic attack. On the memo line, 5-week nutrition workout program. Sources close to Smollett say one of those brothers was training the actor for an upcoming music video, but police say the brothers told them the money was for the attack. We turn next tonight to the deadly plane crash, to the 767 cargo plane flying for Amazon that crashed off Houston, suddenly taking a nosedive. Shattering into pieces, there was no distress call. ABC senior transportation correspondent David Curley tonight at the crash site.
High tide tonight covering what is left of that 767 flying for Amazon. Tires, the company's logo. At low tide, the devastation is more visible. No water. But this muddy mess is hiding the critical clues to this mystery.
After getting out there, I think the task is even going to be more difficult than we had originally anticipated.
Descending toward Houston, suddenly at 6,000 feet, a high-speed nosedive by the wide-body jet. Just 9 seconds until it slams into Trinity Bay. The black box recorders will be critical in solving this mystery. The waters here in Trinity Bay are shallow, but the mud in many places is deep, and that could complicate the search for the black boxes. The NTSB has already put an acoustic sensor in the mud, but neither of the black boxes has been heard. The NTSB says it will dredge if necessary to get those black boxes. The remains of one of the 3 on board who were killed are still missing. David?
David Curley on the scene for us tonight. David, thank you. We're going to turn now to an ABC News exclusive. Amid those horrific pictures from Venezuela, the food and aid from the U.S. set on fire, tonight the embattled leader, Nicolas Maduro, trying to hold on, sitting down just moments ago with our Tom Llamas. Maduro with a message for President Trump and his administration tonight.
Tonight, the tension building in Venezuela's power struggle. Aid trucks set on fire over the weekend as opposition groups tried in vain to bring over much-needed food and medical supplies donated by the United States. Tonight, in a rare interview inside of his presidential palace, Nicolás Maduro telling ABC News he believes the U.S. is preparing a military invasion to get him out.
You think the U.S. wants to invade Venezuela?
The United States wants Venezuela's oil, and they're willing to go to war for that oil.
And today, Vice President Mike Pence in Colombia to meet with Venezuela's interim president, Juan Guaidó, and other South American leaders opposed to Maduro.
Everything the United States government has done is doomed for failure. They are trying to fabricate a crisis to justify political escalation and a military intervention in Venezuela to bring a war to South America.
But Maduro refusing to budge. He says Guaidó is a puppet of the United States and that his country will not beg for the U.S. help.
Our movement came from the depths of the Venezuelan people. We've been governing democratically for 20 years. Everything that we are, everything that we have because of the popular vote.
David, we wrapped up that sit-down interview just moments ago, and President Maduro made it very clear he wants to talk to President Trump. He wants to shake his hand and tell him he's confused about Venezuela. The problem is the Trump administration has made it clear they do not want to negotiate with him. David?
Tom Llamas with us tonight from Venezuela, interviewing President Maduro just a short time ago. Tom, our thanks to you. And we are also following news tonight involving a U.S. citizen held hostage for nearly 18 months in Yemen. That American is now free tonight. President Trump announcing the release and recovery of 63-year-old American oil worker Danny Birch, taken captive in 2017. The White House thanking the United Arab Emirates for their diplomatic help Birch has been reunited with his Yemeni wife and children. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Monday. The mystery death of a high school cheerleader just 13 years old. The medical emergency that turned deadly right before she was supposed to perform. More on that coming up. Also, the deadly plane crash right into a home, pinning a teenage girl against the wall, and you will hear the call to 911 right here tonight. And then the remarkable images, the food truck explosion, the truck blown apart, the blast damaging buildings nearby, and investigators are looking for the cause tonight. A lot more news ahead. We're going to turn next tonight to that deadly small plane crash right into a home in Florida. One of the pilots was killed, a teenage girl pinned to a wall inside her home. That family calling 911, and here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
Florida authorities tonight say what happened inside this home about an hour east of Tampa is a downright miracle.
She's stuck in the wall. Okay, you have one person stuck in the wall?
This seaplane crashed nose first into the house with its family inside right after takeoff Saturday. It trapped a 17-year-old girl behind a wall in her bedroom.
She's alive, though. Okay, they're trying to get her out of the wall.
Fuel from the plane is pouring everywhere, and they can't get the girl out.
Yeah, I've got help on the way, but I need you guys to get out of the house.
The girl's family races into the street. Firefighters help set her free.
And guess what? Her injuries are really minor at this point.
James Wagner, a flight instructor, was killed. The young man he was training, ex-Navy SEAL Tim Sheehy, is seen walking away. His injuries were also minor.
Federal investigators are now looking into what happened. Police will only say that the plane lost power and that the flight instructor was a highly experienced pilot. David?
All right, Steve, thank you. We're just glad that girl is okay. And when we come back here tonight, the new health headline this evening, they say it's a simple trick to help you lose weight and that it takes just a matter of minutes. We'll have more on that. Also, more on that high school cheerleader, just 13 years old, dying just moments before competing, the medical emergency. And then that massive food truck explosion, nearby buildings damaged. They're looking for a cause tonight. To the index tonight, the mystery death of a high school cheerleader in Columbus, Ohio. 13-year-old Liliana Schock of Kentucky died shortly before she was supposed to take part in a competition. She complained of feeling sick right before the event. Tonight, there's no word on her cause of death. The school says the 8th grader was such a good cheerleader that they had put her on the high school squad. The food truck explosion in Eugene, Oregon tonight. Surveillance video showing the blast, the food cart erupting into a destructive fireball. No one was hurt. Fire officials now say the explosion may have been caused by a gas line malfunction. And they say it's a simple trick, just a few minutes a day to help you lose weight. A new study shows that dieters who simply log what they eat and drink 3 times a day actually lost 10% of their body weight over 6 months. Researchers say logging food helps you track calories, keeps them fresh in your mind, and that study appears in the journal Obesity. When we come back tonight, so many people talking about one moment at the Oscars, but it turns out it's what happened during the commercial.
You were first diagnosed.
Tonight here, the big surprises at the Oscars. No host and apparently no problem. Word tonight, ratings were up, and the intense performance that had everyone on their feet twice. The legendary rock band Queen opening the night. And the first Oscar went to a first-time nominee, Regina King for Best Supporting Actress. And if Beale Street could talk.
I'm an example of what it looks like when support and love is poured into someone. Mom, I love you so much.
Best Supporting Actor went to Mahershala Ali in Green Book. Rami Malek won Best Actor, playing Freddie Mercury. And Olivia Colman winning Best Actress for that dark, uproarious portrait of Queen Anne.
Look at me. Look at me. How dare you? Close your eyes.
Many thought it was her or Glenn Close.
Glenn Close, you've been my idol for so long, and this is not how I wanted it to be, and I think you're amazing. I love you very much.
And then she turned to her family.
My kids are at home and watching, look. Well, if you're not, then, well done, but I sort of hope you are. This is not going to happen again.
Spike Lee winning his first Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay for Black Klansman. Alfonso Cuarón and his Roma winning 3 Oscars. Green Book taking Best Picture. And Best Moment just might have been this.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in
modern world.
Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, and the Oscar-winning song "Shallow."
In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now.
A standing ovation as they finished together at the piano. And what we didn't know was that during that commercial break, as the pair returned to their seats, the audience was on their feet again. It was an incredible moment, and we thank you for watching here on a Monday night. I'm David Muir. I hope to see you right back here tomorrow night, reporting from Hanoi. We'll see you then. Good night.
Thank you.